What is up, y'all, you Coastal Smoke fans? As always, we're back here in the podcast dome, and I'm your host, Baden Fuller. And some episodes are it's easy to come up with the topics, and sometimes I kind of get brain fog or something, can't think, and it's harder to come up with shows. So I thought for about 2 whole days on a show, and Tuesdays come pretty quick after a busy weekend. So I was like, oh darn, I need to come up with something for this week's show, and I was like, well, I got nothing, cause I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of sports, but I was like, I don't really know the vibe or really what I want to talk about on this show, so. Then I came up with a plan, and I was like, you know what? I'm a passionate guy. I'm passionate about lots of things. How about I dedicate this episode to LSU football? So at this point, I probably lost about half my viewers, cause most of y'all are probably Buckeye fans, and there's not very many Tiger fans in the state of Ohio. But you know what? I think this episode's going to be about the LSU Tigers, and maybe next week I'll do a episode about the Ohio State Buckeyes. But we sometimes figure out as the days goes on, and I could probably ramble 30 to 45 minutes to 2 hours about the LSU Tigers, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I couldn't be more excited for the uh, start of the season for the Tigers. We're going to kick it off in just a little over 2 weeks here. Um, Against the Clemson Tigers in Death Valley, and I stated on the last show that we all know who the real Death Valley is, and it's the Tigers from Baton Rouge. So we got that one coming up. A very intriguing schedule for the Tigers. I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit, and we'll go over some key players for the Tigers, and what I think the outlook's going to be. So I think we got a pretty fun show. I don't know about all you Buckeye fans, but just stay along if you want to know about the Tigers, because for all you Buckeye fans, there is a possibility that it's going to come down between the LSU Tigers and the Ohio State Buckeyes in the national championship ball game. Yep, that would be pretty epic if Ohio State and LSU met in the national championship game. But we still got 12, 13, 14 weeks before we can decide a national champion, and I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, because it's just ramping up and getting ready to start, and uh, um, uh, it's a long season, and anything can happen. So, um, I think we're gonna, I think that's a good enough intro for you guys, I guess, and we're gonna see where this takes us. I kind of think this might be one of our shorter episodes to date, but we'll see. I might be up here in this podcast dome for 2 hours. I got my comfy chair I'm sitting on right now. I had to bring the fan up again. I always have to have the fan, because the podcast dome gets awful hot around 4:15 in the afternoon when I usually record these shows. So it gets hot up here, but I got a comfy chair, and uh, I could sit here and I could pick your guys' brains about the LSU Tigers all day. So we might as well get into it, 'cause this bald head fella right in front of you is ready to start talking about the Tigers. So let's go. All right, we got LSU Tiger football talk. Like I mentioned a second ago, we got the Clemson Tigers week 1 on the schedule, and that's a really, really, really huge game. That is a huge game for us, and I know I previewed it before, and I kind of might be going back over thoughts I had, but it gets none other than a road trip down to Clemson, South Carolina to take on Dabo Sweeney and the Clemson Tigers. I mean, uh, we all know how the last couple years started out, and it just has not been good the last 5 years, as LSU has lost that first game and started in a hole. And I think this game is a lot tougher than the previous season openers we had. But I really like this LSU team, as we're going to head down to Clemson on week 1, and I think Clemson's a really good team, but there's a reason why Garrett Nussmeier came back to Baton Rouge. There's a reason why he came back to Baton Rouge. And that is to be the leader of this football team and hoist that gold trophy up at the end of the year. And the season ain't gonna start easy, and the season ain't gonna end easy. So we got a freaking first huge true road test to really ramp up the season, and that's kind of a really good measuring stick early in the season to see where we might be at. I've been looking and seeing a lot of good things about this football team so far, but you're going to Clemson, who's ranked number 4, I believe, going up to their stadium. There's going to be upon thousands of Clemson fans coming at you. They're probably still a little salty about the last time we played each other, as us LSU fans know what happened there. Clemson fans, I ain't going to say it just for the, we all know what happened. It was good for the Tigers. I can tell you that right now. There was no pun intended on that one. But I kind of lost my thought, but thousands upon thousands of Clemson fans going to be there. I think LSU, they did get some allotment of tickets, but they're going to be stacked on level 500 up there and trying to make noise. But huge test. Huge test to come out the year. Cade Klubnik versus Garrett Nussmeier. Can't ask for a better quarterback matchup to start the year right there. Then you got all the skill players on both sides of the ball. LSU, LSU is loaded coming into the year. You got Caden Durham. He's a sophomore. He's back. You got Barian Brown, the transfer from Kentucky. He's having a great fall camp. You got a healthy Chris Hilton on the offensive side of the ball at a receiver. He's a big playmaker. You got Nick Anderson, receiver. Aaron Anderson, receiver. You got Trey Des Green right there, a huge tight end. Then you got Bauer Sharp, another tight end that's, I think, is going to have a standout year. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you got Wes Weeks. He's coming back from injury. You got Harold Perkins. I'm excited to see how Blake Baker uses Harold Perkins on the defensive side of the ball. You got Ashton Stamps at cornerback over there. So you just got a boatload of playmakers on LSU side of the football to go into week 1 at Clemson to be like, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. LSU will be all right in week 1 of the season. We just can't have a slow start, and you can't really dig yourself too much of a hole where have that slow start. You have a slow start at Clemson, you're definitely going to be in a hole, and you're going to have to play catch up. And we don't want to be going into Clemson and having to play catch up and see, oh my gosh, not again. We don't want to feel that way. We don't want to feel that way. But I don't think we're going to feel that way, because this LSU team, I'm sitting here and saying it now, this LSU team has the ability to go out and win a national championship. They really do. They really do. And if I had a live studio audience in front of me right now, they'd probably be throwing tomatoes at my head for that. They'd probably be throwing tomatoes at my head for that take right there. They'd say LSU does. We're going to hear it. There's going to be people doubting coming into the year. Brian Kelly can't win the big one. LSU can't get over the hump. LSU can't get this. That's a sack of baloney. That's a sack of baloney. Brian Kelly can get it done, and LSU can win the big one. And it's going to happen on August 30th. Now, I hope I watch this August 30th, and I'm like, yeah, I told myself, because I'm awful confident right now. But there's going to be hard times for this team. There's going to be really hard times for this LSU team as well. I think one of the question marks I have going into this year for the Tigers is the offensive line. I think the offensive line, we lost a whole boatload of our offensive line. We lost intentionally everybody and every important player on that offensive line. So I think getting practice reps are a big key for him right now, but really going into that Clemson game and getting some game reps, that's part of where you got to gel a little bit. So maybe the offensive line starts off a little slow this year, but they're going to get better, I believe. They're going to get better. That was a veteran offensive line we had last year, so you lose them guys. It's hard to replace, but the offensive line, I think they're going to be just fine going into the year. This is SEC football, and these are some of the top players in the country coming to LSU. So we're going to be fine at offensive line. I think really the key to that Clemson game is I kind of hope we can establish the run a little better. Not just for the Clemson game. I hope we can establish the run better as the year goes on, better than what we ran the ball last year. Last year was, you had Caden Durham, huge playmaker, but it seems like, you're only getting 2 yards every carry, and there are some games you only get 100. You only have 100. You might not even have 100 rushing yards for the ball game. So I think that is very important. Looking at this team on the offensive side of the ball is to establish the run game And that really opens up Garrett Nussmeier to his playmakers on the outside. Garrett Nussmeier, he is a gunslinger. That guy is not he is not afraid to let a thing rip 70 yards down the field if he has to. He is not afraid. And especially with some of these playmakers, I don't think he's going to be afraid to sling it downfield with one-on-one shot opportunities. But I think here's probably where the most important part comes in right here. If LSU can come in and establish the run game just decent, be good at running the football, or maybe on first or second down, if LSU can come in, establish a run game, run the football, then that sets up deep shots to some of your wide receivers. All right, you come in here and you can run the ball effectively. You get Chris Hilton or Barry Brown or Aaron Anderson on the outside running a deep route. You're going to like the results. I'm just telling you here. I'm not over here saying that they're the next Justin Jeffersons or Jamar Chases. I mean, I certainly hope so. I hope so. But these receivers are elite. These receivers are elite. Great speed. Can catch the ball. Can make big plays. And if LSU can run the ball effectively, look out for LSU's receivers. Look out for LSU's receivers. I'd stack up LSU receivers this year to anyone in the country. I'd stack up this offense to anyone in the country. I'd stack them up. I mean, veteran quarterback, couple veteran receivers. You got a running back in Caden Durham. I don't know what else you can ask for on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, I hope there's games where we can really open that playbook, get it down to where we just go out there and make plays, and hopefully we're kicking the guts out of people. And there's going to be times where you face adversity. I mean, you got to go on the road to Oxford and face Ole Miss. There's probably going to be adversity at some point in a game like that. You got Florida, your first SEC game. You're probably going to have adversity in that game. You're going to have adversity in the Alabama game. You're going to have a bunch of adversity going into the Clemson game. There's always going to be that adversity in every game. I think it's how will this LSU team respond? I think they're going to respond great. I think this team is going to respond great. And I talked a lot about the offense already. I mean, defense, you got Harold Perkins and Wes Weeks back on defense. And if you guys have, I've been watching that Netflix film, every given Saturday that highlights the SEC. That is a fantastic show, by the way. So if you guys are SEC football fans or really a college football fan, I recommend watching it. I'm on episode 4, so that's kind of if you ever want to know what I'm doing on my lunch break, I'm eating turkey sandwiches watermelon and watching every given Saturday. Uh, Great film. Uh, I mean, you see Wes Weeks. He's part of it in there. It's you see you see some highlights of practice and Brian Kelly really grilling into getting into his guys and making sure they're prepared. I'm on the episode I'm currently on has Garrett Nussmeyer on it. He was on a couple episodes already, but I mean, great film. So just give that a watch. But going back to Wes Weeks, I don't know if there's a scarier guy in America than that guy. That guy literally has one job, and it feels like, I mean, he has multiple jobs. He's like the almost the quarterback of the defense. He's like the quarterback of the defense, but I mean, he's coming after you. Wes Weeks is a monster. You better watch out for Wes Weeks when he's coming after you, 'cause he's about ready to lay you flat on the ground like a pancake. He is coming after you. He's coming after with whoever has the ball. I mean, same way with Harold Perkins. Oh my gosh. I know Harold Perkins, great freshman year. Fantastic freshman year. Then, he got into his sophomore year, not the best year. Kinda had his his junior year. I mean, maybe struggled a little more. Didn't see all the value from. Didn't see all of it come out of Perkins, but he's coming into his senior year off an injury. I'm excited to see uh where Blake Baker puts Harold Perkins at. Because I'll tell you one thing, if you let Harold Perkins, if Harold Perkins just lines up anywhere on that football field and his job is to literally hunt the quarterback, that guy's toast. I don't care. I mean, imagine week one, Harold Perkins lining up on the line of scrimmage somewhere, or linebacker, or he's blitzing somewhere in there in a package LSU got. His only job is to freaking find where Cade Klubnik is at and make his life absolutely miserable. Absolutely miserable. And on top of that, you got Wes Weeks coming. You got him coming after you. And then on top of that, Ashton Stamps out there in coverage at cornerback. Or then you got the freshman this year, who I'm excited to watch. Haven't mentioned him yet. DJ Pickett. You got him out there locking up defenders. And then you got your other players on the defense who I'd call do your job kind of like the row guys. Do your job, fall on a fumble, make someone's life miserable out there. I mean, this team is scary. I mean, it's like Tigers are stinking coming to eat every night. They are coming to freaking eat and make your life miserable on the defensive side of the ball every night. I think this is the best team in the SEC. I 100% believe LSU can, and this is the best team in the SEC. I mean, some people are going to say you don't play Texas, you don't play Auburn, you don't play some of these teams in the SEC. I I don't think you have to play Texas. I don't think you have to play Auburn every year. I mean, Auburn, I wish we did play every year. I think that I think in the Auburn game, that been a classic game for years, and that kind of went off the schedule and this new format the SEC's doing. But we'll get Auburn back in a little while. I would think that game is going to come back before long. But I mean, you got a South Carolina team on that schedule. I think if LSU handles business, they'll win the SEC, despite having to play Texas or Georgia. Which I think it's probably going to be between LSU and Texas in the SEC title game this year. I think that's who you're on. Now I think teams like Alabama, Ole Miss, Florida's going to be better. South Carolina on the schedule. I mean, you can't really take them lightly. That's a game you were down 17-0 last year, and you had to fight and claw your way back to win that one. I mean, tough teams on the schedule, but I think this LSU team can get it done. And then, I think I mentioned this before. Can LSU afford to dig a hole if LSU lost the first game? Can they afford to lose another one? I think you have to run the table if you lose against Clemson in week 1 and start 0-1. I think you have to run the table the rest of the year. I'm not saying LSU can't lose again. I mean, they can. I'm not saying LSU has to go 11-1 if they lose the first game. Now that pretty much probably guarantees you make the SEC championship game, and if you win the SEC championship game, you're comfortably in, or if you lose it, you're probably still in. But I'm not. You got one game where you can intentionally have a hiccup at. You can lose 2 games and make the college football playoff. Because I don't think if LSU goes 7-1 in the SEC, I think that is good enough to get them to the SEC championship game. That is plenty well enough. 7-1 can probably get you in there. But with that issue, if you're 7-1 in the SEC, and then you're 10-2 overall, that means you have to go win the SEC championship game. Because 10-3 is going to be awful tough to get into the college football playoff. It's going to be awful tough. But, I mean, could we see a 10-3 team? I don't think so. I don't think LSU's going 10-3. I think at worst we go 10-2 this year. I think Clemson might be. It's a little toss up. Everyone's probably favoring Clemson a little. Clemson will win week 1. All right, that's fair. I think that's fair. But other than Alabama on the schedule, I don't see LSU not being favored in any of them games. I think LSU is going to be better and probably be the team favored in all them games. Unless you just go out the first couple weeks of the season and you lay a goose egg. I don't think that's going to happen. and it's a really, really intriguing start to the season, really for LSU. I mean, they start out with Clemson, and then you get your you get the week 2 game where it's easy win. That one might be like Southeastern Louisiana or someone of that nature. I can't remember off the top of my head who we play, but I mean, you got that one. Then in week 3 is really where it heats up right here. Week 3, you got the Florida Gators coming to town. And that's a game last year where, I mean, Florida was horrible last year. That is a game last year where you walk in there and you think it's an easy win. Florida's playing a backup quarterback. Florida, not a good record. You go in there and you lose to Florida last year. Which LSU and Florida is always, always, always a stinking battle. That game's always a battle. I mean, there's the shoe game that gave LSU the game-winning field goal. You got, I mean, tons and tons of classical ball games, but last year you did not play well against Florida, and you had no room for error last year at that point against Florida. And then, I mean, Texas A&M. I mean, that one's going to be in Baton Rouge this year, but I mean you're intentionally trying. You might have first place in the league if you can beat Texas A&M. That's a battle of a ball game. We didn't get the job done last year against them. South Carolina, I mean, you get down big early and you're on your heels most of the game and you're playing comeback football. I mean, LSU, they're I, I'm saying their schedule lines up with them. Their schedule lines up. They're as talented or even more talented of all these teams I just mentioned. All of them. But the one thing is, you got to go out there and prove it. You got to go out there and prove who you are as a football team. And if LSU every Saturday can go out there and prove that they're this type of football team and they're going to be good, we're going to like the results on Saturdays. We're going to love the results on Saturdays. I mean, this team got it. I mean, we're a top 10 team. There's a reason we're a top 10 team. Teams respect us enough of being the top 10, but we're going to show them why we can win this whole thing and be at the end of the glory through all this. And like I said, it's not going to be an easy game. You got a full SEC slate ahead of you, but I just don't see I just think LSU's a better team in most of these games. And then I wanted to go over what is the biggest games for the Tigers this season. What are our biggest games other than Clemson? Because we know what this Clemson game means and what's probably at stake. I was thinking Florida in week 3. That don't get easy. DJ Lagway. DJ Lagway stands in front of you. He's the quarterback who beat you last year. He's going to be a year stronger and a year better. I mean, Florida in week 3, that's a tough one. Obviously, Alabama, we don't like to talk about what happened last year, but I think we can ride the ship a little bit against Bama. I The good thing about playing Alabama this year is there's no more Jalen Milroe. I mean, Milroe absolutely ran all over LSU last year, and I mean that was kind of LSU couldn't afford to really lose that game, and I mean, sometimes you play bad, and I think LSU just played bad that night, and it was really bad, if we're being honest, really bad game. Milroe just kind of ran all over you. That's another big game. That's always a big game on LSU's schedule. I mean, South Carolina. I'm interested to see how South Carolina does, because there is a lot of hype around that program right now. Which I think at the end of the day, they're going to be a solid football team. They're going to be a solid football team, but they're on LSU got that game at home this year, so the Gamecocks are going to have to come to Baton Rouge. Arkansas rivalry game. That's a tough one. Rivalries are always tough. There've been a couple close calls as we been the better team the last couple years, but I mean Arkansas about pulled off an upset, and then Ole Miss. You're going into Oxford this year against Ole Miss. I mean, we'll see how Ole Miss is this year. That's going to be interesting to see. How good will Ole Miss be going into that game? I don't really know. But there's some big games on this LSU schedule. Big games on this schedule for the Tigers. Top three off of my head are Alabama, Florida, and South Carolina. Those are outside the Clemson game. Those are my three big ones. Those are my three big ones. I think they're going to be good matchups for the Tigers. I mean, South Carolina, Florida, you got them in Baton Rouge. Alabama, you know what you got when you go to Bryant Denny. I mean, the Tigers, a lot to play for this year. A lot to play for. Man, this might be a really kind of short episode tonight. I mean, 40 minutes about on talking about the LSU Tigers. I think that's a nice little while, and it has all been about the LSU Tigers. And I think the Tigers, I mean, I've just been sitting up here rambling about the LSU Tigers, just telling you how I think we're going to get it done. There might not be some of the greatest social media posts coming this week, but that's all right. I mean, I probably lost you about the first 2 minutes, but you know, I think we're going to be. I think this LSU team is very underrated in a way. I think. I think we're. This is a. I think I'm just really excited right now. Finally, see LSU and Clemson get closer to kickoff. I mean, every day it's just building anticipation as you can't imagine, and I mean, it's almost football season, and we're gearing up, and I'm fired up, and I mean, I know we still got Reds baseball to root for, but you know, like I always say, when it comes to baseball, the Reds might not make the playoffs, but they just gotta do their job. And their job is the one thing. Just get us to football season. And that's what the Reds exactly did that to get their job done, and now we're on this stretch where we're just a couple weeks away from finally kicking it off, and I mean we'll get to see how the Tigers match up, and what's going to happen, because I mean 7:30 prime time. It don't get any bigger than that. And I think, man, LSU plays a lot of big primetime games in week one. It seems like, and I mean, it's LSU's the brand. LSU's the brand. LSU will get the job done this year. Brian Kelly will uh, uh Brian Kelly will win. I don't think it's fair to say Brian Kelly has never not won a big game. I don't think it's fair to say he's one of the best coaches, most winningest coaches in college football. But I think there's just a lot of hate from his Notre Dame days. That is my honest opinion of Brian Kelly. That is my honest opinion. I think there's a lot of people that hate Brian Kelly. And I mean, I respect it. You don't have to like every coach in the world. I don't have to agree or disagree, but I mean, I know there's people that don't like Kelly, and that's all right. But I think a lot of it has to do with his Notre Dame days. He hasn't done nothing at LSU to be a hated coach. I just think there's kind of a reputation, I guess, is what people think of him, and I understand, I respect the agreement, but he's my coach, and I stand with Brian Kelly, and Brian Kelly's going to get the job done. I mean, he's been in big games before. He just hasn't won. I don't think it's even fair to say he never been in a big game. Brian Kelly been in big games. He's been in the national championship coaching before. His team just fell short. And that's with Notre Dame when Notre Dame's playing not a I don't know if cupcake's the right word, but Notre Dame can put their schedule however they want. Notre Dame can play. No offense to the Ohio universities or the Miamis of Ohio or the Marshalls or the Middle Tennessee States. No offense to them teams, but Notre Dame can schedule however they want. They don't have to play a tough schedule if they don't want to. I don't think that prepares a team at the end of the year, and I think maybe that could be a reason why Brian Kelly got to the national title game and he just couldn't win it. In the SEC every week, you're in a freaking battle, especially at LSU. You're in a battle every week, and it's preparing you. You can't say, I mean, you're going to Alabama. You playing Florida. You're playing teams like Georgia. You're playing teams like Texas. You're playing Texas A&M. You're playing Ole Miss. Every day in the SEC is a gauntlet. That is a gauntlet. And I'd be straight up lying to you if I said the SEC wasn't a gauntlet. Because it is absolutely brutal. I don't care if you're playing Vanderbilt. I don't care if you're playing Vanderbilt. Because Vanderbilt, they haven't been good. But man, there's that thought in the back of your mind like, they beat Alabama last year. What could they do this year? Every week in the SEC is a gauntlet. And I think that's going to prepare Brian Kelly's team going into the postseason. I think it does. Playing in the SEC prepares you for going into the playoffs going into the semifinals of the playoffs, going into the national championship. It just does. I mean, you seen what Ed Orgeron did with the Tigers. You seen that. You seen Les Miles went in there and won. Brian Kelly, I mean, we had him for a couple years already, but Brian Kelly's a winner. Brian Kelly is a winner. He's a winner. I don't think I could ask for I don't I don't think I could ask for a better coach than Brian Kelly to coach this team. I don't know who else I'd want. I think Brian Kelly is the guy that leads us to a national championship again. And you've seen what happened, like I said on shows before. Joe Burrow comes back his final year, what happens? Jaden Daniels comes back his final year, what happens? Garrett Nussmeier, he's in his final year. He's really going to elevate his game, I think. His game is going to be elevated. That's a future Heisman Trophy candidate right there. He is a Heisman Trophy candidate, not even a future one. You'll probably see him at the ceremony waiting for his name to get called to win the Heisman. I mean, this LSU team, they are loaded. They are loaded. This LSU team, every position, just loaded. Just a little couple weeks away from football season, and like I said, I'm getting really excited. I'm getting that ants. I'm really showing the fire right now. Before long, the Tiger Band, the Golden Band from Tigerland's gonna be playing them 4 notes. Da 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 da. That's when you know it gets real. They play them 4 notes. They're gonna be marching down Victory Hill. The football team's gonna be coming down Victory Hill. The Tiger Band's going to be playing that fight song. They're going to be swag surfing in the student section. They're going to be yelling obscenities at the other team in the student section. LSU's going to bring a live tiger on the field, hopefully, again. Mike the Tiger's going to make an appearance. What much can you ask for being an LSU fan going into this year? What more could you ask for being a college football fan going into this year? Because you know what? This is going to be one incredible season. This is going to be an incredible season. Kicks off August 30th. The most important day of the year. Then I'm gonna LSU football is gonna be determining my mood, how I feel like every night. So there's gonna be Sundays I'm happy. Hopefully I'm happy every Sunday. There's gonna be some times where I get on that X universe or whatever, and if you follow me on there on my personal page, I'm all over the X on game days. I am saying whatever comes off the top of my head. I'm questioning coaching decisions. I'm questioning my life choices. Questioning a lot of things. Then I'm sending all kinds of crazy tweets out. I'm sending out memes. All that stuff. So I feel like I like to call myself the I'm pretty much a legend on the X on game days. But I mean, we're getting closer, guys. We're getting closer. We are getting closer to college football. And that was my whole goal today, was talk about the LSU Tigers, and I think I accomplished that goal. I think I did. I think I rambled enough about the LSU Tigers. I could probably go on a little bit longer, but I think we might just end it a little early tonight for y'all. I mean, we almost been on here an hour, so not too bad, but you know, I kind of thought this was going to be a shorter episode today, and it was. And then next week is really when the posting fun starts. Is what I'm gonna say. It is going to be a Where's Waldo type of posting schedule, is how I'd put it. I might be here on Tuesdays like this. I might be here on a Thursday, here or there. I might be posting on Wednesday or a Monday. I don't know. But next week really starts with the high school sports next week, so I'm gonna probably learn my assignments here soon. So I'll be at all these local high school football games and these volleyball games and probably some soccer games and stuff. But if you see me at these local high school games, don't feel hesitated to come and shout out. It's going to be easy to find me most nights. It's going to be really easy to find me. I'm usually in LSU attire, so some nights I probably do look like I'm scouting a ball game for LSU or something, but I'm not. I'm just writing the local newspaper. Usually I'm in my LSU attire. I wear Cincinnati Bengals attire, and then I wear Ohio University attire. So if you see me at a ball, if you're wondering if I'm at a ball game and whether you can spot me, that's how you spot me right there. So I'm probably in one of them three schools attire. So that's how you spot me. But most 85% of the time I'm supporting the LSU Tigers. 85. No, I don't even think 85's enough. I think it's more like 98.6. We'll just say that. 98.6% of the time, I'm wearing LSU attire at a local high school football or volleyball or a soccer game. So, yeah, that's kind of what I wear, I guess. If you guys were interested, probably not, but yeah. Uh, but yeah, next week is where it kind of gets dicey. We'll see how the posting schedule works. But I will be putting the headphones on at some point in the week, and it definitely won't be Friday, Saturdays, or Sundays. So no weekend posts. If there is a weekend post, it probably means I recorded earlier in the week. So, cause I know week 0 starts next Saturday. High school football starts next weekend as well. Sunday, I don't know what happened. Sunday's just kind of chill out day and get everything together for the weekday. So if you ever see a post on them days, probably I probably recorded it on like a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. So just that. So we'll see what happens with the posting schedule. We'll see what that. I got some special guests coming up. Eric Former, he's gonna be on the show before long. We just gotta. He said he's gonna take me out for dinner one night, and we're gonna come up with some ideas. So I definitely don't forget about. I definitely don't forget about free food. So He's gonna feed my belly, I guess, and I'm gonna have him on the podcast. I think that's a fair. I think that's fair. So, Eric Farmer, talked to him the other night. I'm gonna have him on the podcast podcast after we come up with some great ideas. My man Nathan Childers, uh, he's gonna be on the podcast again coming up soon. So stay on the look for some special guest episodes and always watch out. Just remember to subscribe and turn on them notifications and hit that like button and join the Coastal Smoke family. So that is all we got for you today, folks. As always, I'm your host, Baden Fuller, and as always, keep on vibing.